Welcome to Between Two Coaches, a digital mentors podcast for coaches, consultants, authors, speakers, and experts. I am your host, Norbert Orlowitz, and in each episode, we have a conversation with successful and emerging thought leaders in the mentoring industry to share experiences, insights, and practical strategies to make a bigger impact with our work. This podcast is sponsored by our Digital Mentors Compass workshop. Most coaches, unfortunately, struggle to enroll enough clients consistently, not because they're bad at coaching, but simply because they lack clarity and simplicity in their marketing strategy. Simply put, they don't know how to stand out in their market and how to attract their ideal perfect clients. That's why we created the Digital Mentors Compass experience. It's a step-by-step workshop where you will clarify your marketing message and receive an AI-powered 30-plus page marketing report personalized for your specific business and goals. It's an interactive workshop where you will walk away with a personalized roadmap to finally achieve your goals with a simple plan you can actually follow. Register to attend the next workshop for free at compassworkshop.com. Again, that is compassworkshop.com. All right, today's guest is a great friend that I've had the pleasure of getting to know over the last, my God, has it been a decade, Erin? Today's guest is Erin Birch. Erin is an online business and mind transformation coach working with entrepreneurs. She specializes in attraction marketing, content creation, audience and relationship building, and conversations that lead to sales. If you're looking for ways to enroll more clients, you're going to want to pay attention to this interview. Erin uses several modalities to help her clients remove limiting programming and beliefs and rewire their minds for success. She's certified in hypnosis, NLP, somatic work, change work, timeline therapy, and many other techniques to help her clients become fiercely empowered, high performing entrepreneurs with all the prosperity and abundance that they desire. Erin, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you so much for having me, Norb. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, always awesome to reconnect with you and have a great conversation. It's been an amazing journey watching you grow and develop over the last 8 to 10 years. How long has it been?
11 in April.
11 years now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're going really fast. All right. So let's kick this off with my first question here to get this conversation started. We got a lot to talk about marketing, mindset, but let's start here. What do you think separates truly great coaches?
Mm.
Is it the skill? Is it experience? Is it mindset? Is it the certifications? Is it something else entirely?
Of course, skill is absolutely critical. Being of the right mindset, absolutely critical. But I'm going to go with experience because here's the thing.
Mhm.
You can have a million certifications, but when you don't have experience in the field, working one on one with clients or group, whatever, if you don't build up the experience of actually working with people, then you might be just kind of working out of a textbook,
Mm.
right? If something comes up, you're like, shoot, where in the manual is this? And if you're an NLP practitioner, your master practitioner book, it's like a cajillion pages long, and you can't sit there on a call and, like, "Oh, let me find that technique in my book here." So, here's the thing too, when you gain experience of actually working with people, here's a beautiful thing that happens for you. You begin to be guided.
Yes.
You are guided. So, here's one of the last trainings I was doing, one of my mentors was talking about, the question came up, "Well, how do you plan for each session?" And he's like, "You can't. You don't know what's gonna come up. You have to be able to work on the fly because even if you think, okay, I'm dealing with this person who has whatever confidence issues. Oh, we should do a whole hour session on building your confidence." And then they come in and they have something else they want to work on. You need to be able to pivot immediately. And that only comes from experience. So personally, when I'm with a client, I'm so present, but there's a part of me that is essentially channeling. Like, I don't even know that call it your inner being, your inner self, your greater self, whatever. Stuff just kind of comes out, and I feel like I just know what the person needs to hear in that moment. And you
Mm.
can only get to that place with a lot of experience. Otherwise, you're simply relying on what you learned in a particular course. You're not able to adapt to what that specific client needs at that moment. So I'm gonna have to go with
Right.
experience. Rack up
And
those
so
hours.
rack up those hours. And so that brings to me, an obvious question for new coaches, that don't have the hours. And obviously, if you've gone through a certification program, there's typically some, coaching that you do with other people in the program to get some hours, to get some experience. But, that only goes so far. So as a new coach, and if you're struggling to acquire clients, how do we get this experience? What do you have any advice or recommendations to new coaches trying to rack up that experience and rack up those hours?
Start by coaching people. Do a few free coaching calls to gain the experience, but also to build up your own confidence. Because if you're in a place where, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know if I'm good enough. What if they ask me a question I can't answer? What if they go into a trauma response and I don't know what to do? So if you're in that place of self doubt, you're never going to do what you need to do to get more clients. So gaining the experience is going to build your own confidence. And then, of course, working with real human beings and seeing how things just kind of come up is gonna build your confidence. So, coach some
Right.
family members, go coach your sister.
Do anything you need to do to get the hours. Because I say this all the time. If you're trying to sell something that you don't have 110% conviction in what you do and how you do it, and we can talk about the programming that's going to sabotage your efforts. And that's why your marketing won't work, your messaging won't connect, and your sales conversations will be ineffective. Not because you don't have the technique, or you don't know what to say, or you don't know how to deal with the objections. No, no, no. It's much deeper than that, isn't it?
100%. So everything is energy. People are picking up on your energy all the time. Your clients, in your marketing. There's a little thing called mirror neurons too, right? Like we are all connected. So any self-doubt you're feeling or lack of confidence you're feeling, other people are going to pick up on that. Also, as a coach, your client needs to feel that you know what the heck you're doing and you have no doubt that they can change. So, one of the ways we can manage another person's state, you can't control anyone, but a way to manage someone else's state is you go first. That's the first rule of hypnosis. If you want someone to go into trance, you got to go first. You want to put yourself in a state that you want the other person to feel. You want them in a particular state of, say, belief, then you have to be in that state yourself. You can't expect someone you're speaking to believe that this is going to work if you're in self doubt. And a person will not create change in their programming in their mind if they don't have the belief.
Yeah. Yeah, powerful. I love that. All right, let's backtrack a little bit here because you have a really great story of how you got into coaching, and the journey that you've taken. And so, can you maybe just share a little bit before we start talking about marketing and mindset and those kinds of things? Because you've done really well with your marketing approach as well. So, we got to definitely dive into that. Just share with us a little bit about your story and what got you into coaching, because you definitely didn't start your entrepreneurial journey in coaching. So, just share with us the journey that you've taken.
In a nutshell, when I was 44 years old on my birthday, I had a whole midlife awakening, midlife realization. And this is when it happens to everyone, by the way. When you start asking yourself questions, when you realize you've hit middle age, you start asking yourself questions. Am I happy? Am I fulfilled? Am I living my purpose? Do I want the second half of my life to be the same way the first is gone? So at this time, I decided I needed to take massive action in order to create the happiness that I wanted in my life. So this is when I decided to start an online business because I wanted to be able to travel. My kids were like 12 and 15, and so both in high school. So I was kind of looking at the future and thinking, oh, they're going to be out of the house soon. I'm going to be, the empty nester kind of thing. How do I want my life to be? And I realized I wanted to make some changes and I wanted the freedom to be able to travel and all that kind of stuff. So I started an online business. I got into network marketing and then realized I didn't have a clue what I was doing. So this is when I found you guys, when I knew I needed to learn marketing.
Yep.
So I jumped in. I learned the attraction marketing. I started attracting people to me. I started generating massive results in my own business. And then people started coming to me saying, "Can you show me what you're doing? Like you were like brand new in this industry like 6 months ago. And look at all that you're doing. How are you doing
Mm.
this? Can you teach me what you're doing?" So the first time I got a message on Facebook and the person said, "How much do you charge?" And I went, "What? What are you talking about?" I didn't even understand what they were asking. So I got a little clarification on that. And they wanted to pay me money to teach them what I was doing in my own business so they could do it too. So I essentially fell into coaching. It was the farthest thing from my mind. But then once I started coaching, I realized that I couldn't help somebody take action in their own business unless I could help them with their mindset. Because you can tell somebody exactly what to do, and if they don't do it, the problem is between the ears. There's a reason why they're not doing it. I do not believe in laziness. There's a reason people seem like they're lazy or they're not taking action. It's all the BS that's going on in their head, all the limiting beliefs stopping them from taking the action. So this is when I went, "Oh my god, I've worked so much on my own mindset, completely reprogrammed my own thinking that I need to be able to do this for other people too." So that's when I started learning, a million different modalities and tools and techniques and strategies to help other people have the mindset to be able to build the business.
Yeah. And I mean, you've worked with so many different entrepreneurs now over the years, entrepreneurs, marketers, coaches, consultants. What do you see as the biggest challenge to creating success, right? We got coaches listening here to this podcast and they're looking for, maybe the marketing hacks or the marketing tricks or little insights or things that they can glean and take into their business to grow their business because there might not be creating the revenue and the sales and the kind of business that they dream and envision of. And regardless of the industry you're in, regardless of the type of entrepreneur you are, I tend to find that it all kind of stems to the same kind of problems and issues. What do you feel is at the root of this pursuit of success and the struggle to achieve the success that we desire?
Two things. Two things. A, your mindset. If you've got limiting beliefs that are stopping you from taking enough action, you've got to deal with that. And then the next thing is marketing. Most
Mm.
coaches don't learn marketing. How are you going to get clients if you're not marketing yourself? So I've been in the coaching world and the world of, okay, for example, if I go to California and do a bunch of training for hypnosis, what happens is as soon as the other people there getting certified know that I'm a marketer, they come to me going, "How do I get clients?" Like if you want to have a practice and put your name in the yellow page, I don't even know if yellow pages, white pages exist anymore, or a website or whatever, you have
There's directories. Yeah, there's directories, coaching directories, and there's yellow pages. Yeah, there's Google listings. You could, create a Google listing of yourself in your local area, all that
but
stuff.
is that where, no, maybe people go there, but the
A
fastest
few
way,
people.
yeah, but the fastest way really to get clients, in my opinion, or also build an audience so that later on, if you don't necessarily want to do one-on-one coaching and you would rather do group coaching so that you're not trading time for money, if you want to be able to have all these opportunities open to you, you have to learn marketing. You absolutely have to. So I'm approached by other coaches all the time that I've trained with that are like, "What do I do?" I'm like, "You're going to have to learn marketing." And they're like, "Well, I've spent all my money learning these skills, right? But yeah, but you're not getting clients. So you're going to have to learn the basics of marketing." So in my opinion, it isn't fair for people to be teaching how to be a coach without teaching how to get clients.
Yeah.
The marketing. I
Yeah.
see it happen all the time. I've been in communities where there's like, I don't know, 2,000 coaches and they're learning how to coach, but they're not learning the marketing. And it breaks my heart because these are the coaches who are doing it because they're passionate about helping people, but yet they're not helping anyone because they're not getting anyone who needs their help into their environment. The
Hmm.
marketing is
Yeah.
absolutely critical.
And now this is where things can get a little complicated, especially in 2025, because there is an abundance of marketing advice on the internet. And if you spend any time on social media, I mean, my feed is littered with ads of well meaning coaches and gurus and trainers that are trying to share their unique magic system to get more clients. And this is where it can get really complicated and overwhelming. I love your approach, Erin, because you're not very tech savvy, although you've become much more tech savvy. But when you started with us, you literally did not know how to copy and paste. Okay. So, from your perspective, now that you've been marketing for 10 years, but you don't probably consider yourself like an internet marketer. I mean, you don't build crazy funnels, you don't have crazy automations, you're not running thousands of dollars in paid traffic. Your social media, it's not like you're a massive influencer. It's not like you have a million followers on Instagram, right? When it comes to marketing, what are some practical advice that you can give people? What is your mindset and your approach around marketing and your strategy around it?
You have to learn the basics. You have to learn the basics. You have to learn how to build an audience, engage with that audience, and sell to that audience.
There it is, the three-step
It
formula.
is.
Yep.
That's how I've built my business. And there's all these easy buttons out there. But here's the thing, you have to know how to do it, all of this manually before you automate anything. Like, I'm not
Mm,
against automation by any means. But here's the thing, how about you learn the basics because those foundational things will always be there for you. You get really good at that. You start making really good money in your coaching business. And then the other things that you can begin to implement in your business, like the funnels, like using AI, a chatbot, whatever it might be, you could pay someone to do that for you.
mhm.
Make some
But
money
though
doing what you love so that you can pay people to do the things you don't want to do.
right. Because those things will never fix the problem of poor messaging.
Oh,
And I share your Facebook profile with people all the time, just as an example of somebody who does it right, somebody who shows up on social media right. One of the things that I think you're so great at is just your consistency. You're consistently in the market. You're consistently showing up with all sorts of different posts, but it doesn't seem like you're not following some kind of social media formula. You're not too concerned about the hooks and going viral and all these things that I see trainers and coaches, yell about all over the place. You're just authentically showing up, right? Tell me a little bit about that process, about how you approach your social media marketing.
well, here's the thing. I don't do the trend. You're not going to see me dancing on TikTok. If you are, please, I probably need to be put in AA or something like that.
You're not using trending audios, right?
No, I don't have time. I have
Yeah.
no interest in that. And here's the thing, if you want people to take you seriously, you do not want them to see you as just a trend. And I am very well aware. I learned this way back in the day, you know, earlier on from you guys. Attraction marketing is about creating a perception of yourself, not a
Mm,
fake perception, a real perception. It means, okay, here's the thing. If you're taking the time to build an audience, it is really important to build a connection with that audience, not just a superficial here's my dance for the day kind of thing, but actually connecting and communicating with your audience, giving them the opportunity to get to know you on a really deep level. get to know what your core values are, what you care about, all of those deeper things. And you can only do that when A, you're being as authentic as you can be, right? But I was doing a training actually yesterday on this. It's like depth. Can you add some depth to your marketing so that people see you as a deeper person? So when you share things like your experiences and your thoughts and what you think about things, and people are like, "Oh my god, I've thought about that too." What kind of connection does that create? And it's not about you ever lying or exaggerating or pretending you're something that you're not at all. It's not about that at all. It's just, remember, I was talking about connection and everything is energy and mirror neurons. How do you want people to see you? You got to show up as that person. Nothing happens if there's no connection.
Right. So answer me this. You got a struggling coach, right? One of these coaches that you meet along the way, and they're like, Aaron, I just need like a handful of clients right now, 3 to 5 clients in the next 30 to 90 days. What do I do? What's your advice to them? And obviously, you don't have time to lay out a whole marketing plan, but just give me some tips, just kind of big picture. What's your advice? I want to get my next few clients, obviously from social media.
From
What
social.
do I do?
Okay. Um,
Or not. Actually, if it's outside of social, yeah, tell me what would you be your advice to get your next handful of clients?
Couple of things. A, commit, long-term vision, commit to getting going on social media, building the audience, engage the audience, sell it to the audience, right? But start providing value. Why are you providing value? A, it gives people a reason to follow you, pay attention to you, but you are also proving you know your stuff. Nobody's going to hire you if they don't know that you can help them. Never forget a little thing called gut instinct. So when you're providing value and you're essentially proving to people you can help them, people's gut instinct is going to tell you whether you can or not. This is why you consistently show up and provide value, right? So you got to be providing value. I would do that. And then the next thing I would maybe do is, hey, I have some free time tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to do 3 20-minute calls, free, complimentary, for people who are struggling with fill in the blank. Do those free 20-minute consultation calls, help them out. A, get a testimonial from them because you're going to use that in your marketing. B, see if they'd like to be a client. And then the next one is ask them for referrals. By the way, if you know of anyone who is struggling with this problem that you solve, I would be happy to help them. Feel free to send them my way. So I would be doing that because you can turn that call into a client and get referrals,
Hmm.
right? And you could do the same thing offline, do a free call for your sister and then ask her for referrals. Do you have any friends who are suffering, struggling with this issue? Let them know that I'm totally here to help. So I am not saying you're going to do free coaching for the rest of your life. You are not a charity. You're only doing some free calls or consultations to rack up the experience, get some testimonials. Because think about that, when you've got the testimonials and you share those on social media, that's going to bring paying clients to you. Right? So that's
Yep.
that's what I would do. If I needed, like, if I was like, "Oh my, I need 3 new clients this month." That's what I would do. I would put myself out there and offer some free calls. Or I would do a webinar on whatever problem you solve. Free webinar, and then have a call to action at the end. Book a call with me. I help people with this.
Pretty standard marketing
Yeah,
stuff,
or
hey? Kind of the
send
base.
out an email.
So one of the things that you've done so well is be able to engage and actually have authentic conversations with people. And one of the misconceptions that I think a lot of coaches and amateur marketers have is that if I just post content, because that's what people think, like to make money on social media, to get clients on social media, I need to post content. And they neglect what I think is the more important aspect, which is actually connecting with humans and having conversations. So, can you talk to me about that important balance between the two and the importance of each of those?
So, yes, you need to provide the content and the value, proving you know your stuff. But the truth is rapport is the secret to the universe. If you don't have rapport with someone, you have no influence with the person. You want to create the opportunity to connect with somebody on a very deep level. This means you're
Mm,
having a conversation from your heart. They feel that. They're going to want to work with someone they try. I just got off a call earlier and just with somebody who wants help. And she's like, I need to be able to trust the person, especially if you're expecting them to be open during your coaching and share their struggles and maybe, trauma for God's sakes. They're going to choose someone that they trust. So you can develop some trust through your marketing, through your content, but the deep trust comes from the one-on-one conversations
yeah.
when they feel how much you care. And again, mirror neurons. When you actually care about the person and want to help them, they feel that. There's so much more to the whole thing about connection than people realize. And also the ability to connect with your fellow human beings on a deep level, in my opinion, is becoming a lost art.
Oh my God, especially with the younger generations. Absolutely. Because of technology. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if somebody is recognizing that they need some help and they've been struggling with something long enough and they're looking for help, they're going to choose the person they have a deeper connection with. And
Mhm.
there's a lot of people out there that don't have the ability to connect on a deep enough level. So if you are the one that is taking the time with somebody to build that connection, yes, they're going to choose you. And a lot of people think,
Yeah.
well, it's a waste of my time. It takes a long time to connect with people. Not if you're good at connecting. You can do it really, really quickly. It's a skill. It is a skill worth having because if you can create a deep bond with somebody really, really quickly, it cuts down on all the conversation, the time of having you don't have to talk about the weather and all the things until the cows come home. When you know how to go deep with someone and really touch their heart and share part of yourself, then it can happen really, really quickly.
And maybe just let's stay on that topic just with one more question, because this is where a lot of people, they struggle with the building rapport. They stay in chit chat a little bit too long. And there's that difficulty in transitioning to business, transitioning to actually offering your services or inviting them to take the next step. Any techniques or insights around that to help our listeners develop that skill, because it is just a skill that you have to develop.
So, most of the time when people are having conversations, they're busy in their head thinking about what can I say to get this person to say, oh, I need to hire you or whatever, right? They're looking for the magical phrase to get the person to go, "Oh, here's my credit card." Right? So you're busy thinking about what should I say next? What should I say next? What should I say next? So if you change your focus to how can I help this person? And how do you know how to help the person? By asking questions to find out what they need, finding out where they're at right now, where they want to be in the future, right? The gap. Asking the questions to uncover the gap, and then you make the bridge over the gap, right? That's your services and yourself. So you got to be asking questions of the person, and this is going to get them talking. And oftentimes, when you're asking the right questions, they just unload because, oh my God, somebody actually cares and wants to hear what's really going on in my life. Now you're getting so much information that you can use to simply offer your help. So, knowing what their pain is, knowing what their struggle is, knowing what they desire in life gives you an opportunity to frame your solution as the perfect solution for
Mm.
them. So, it takes a little bit of detective work. It means you're getting out of your own head thinking about how am I going to close them? How am I going to close them? To how can I help this person? What's going on in their world? What are their pain, struggles, and challenges? What do they need? Now I can offer my help to help them get what they need and want.
Mm,
So it's taking yourself out of your own head and kind of merging with them.
right. Right. Building that connection and really, really putting yourself almost in the client's shoes, but really trying to understand your client,
Oh, yeah.
right? If you really come from that authentic place of really wanting to understand your client so that you can better understand how you can help them, that's where the questions should come from. And then it's simply, well, I've got a solution for you. And this is where it comes down to your belief in yourself and what you deliver, because if they've identified the gap and you know that you can help them, then it's just a matter of you having the confidence to invite them to the relationship where you get to lead them towards their goals and their dreams.
Offering your help. That's and
Offering your help.
it's very much putting yourself into the other person's shoes. Most people
Yeah,
don't bother
absolutely.
to do it. So it's like you should know when you've got a relationship with somebody, you should know things about them. Like there are details you should know. You should kind of know where they're at in life and where they want to be. If you're on a call with somebody and you don't know those things, or even just a messenger conversation on social media, and you don't know those things about them, it means simply you haven't asked questions to find out those details.
And so you're not ready to sell them into your program because you don't even know if you can help them.
Yep. And you
Right.
and then asking the questions, you are also uncovering their pain, which gives you the opportunity to kind of help them feel their pain a little bit more deeply
Mm.
so that they're more responsive to when you make your offer. So for example, what do they say the best time to sell your pain medication is when the person has the headache, not when they're feeling good and they're at the beach drinking a Mai Tai. It's when
Yeah.
they're having the headache and they're feeling the pain of that headache. And then you come along and I got some ibuprofen for you.
Yeah.
It's going to get rid of
It's
your
exactly.
headache.
Yeah. That's exactly the same thing. That's exactly the technique. Yeah. All right, let's shift a little bit in the conversation here because I want to talk about one of the things that you focus a lot in your work with your clients, which is helping identity shifting, helping people shift their identity. And I think this is so important for coaches trying to grow their business and for coaches coaching their clients as well, right? For the work that you're doing with your clients. Talk to me a little bit about that. What does this involve? Why is this so important? What do you mean by identity shifting, and how does this help us in our life?
Ooh, this is a big topic.
Yeah.
So we're all a slave to the identity we've created. It's your identity is how you see yourself, who you think you are, how you see yourself, right? So this was created before the age of 7. You created an identity, a way of being that you thought your parents needed you to be so that you didn't get kicked out of the tribe, out of the family, and then you couldn't procreate. This is how our neurology works. So we become the person we think we need to become, right? So, and then things happen. We human beings are meaning making machines. We create meaning out of everything, anything that happens, anything at all. We create a meaning. And we develop this identity through our life experience, things that are said to us, all of those things. So we have an opinion of ourselves. You know what I just really realized a few weeks ago too? One reason people are afraid to put themselves out there is because they're afraid people are going to see them the way they see themselves.
Ooh.
And if you
And it's not favorable.
Nope. Most people have a very low opinion of themselves. And it started in childhood, all that kind of stuff, right? So shifting your identity, getting rid of all the limiting beliefs, all the self doubt, how you perceive yourself, changes absolutely everything, because if you have that low opinion of yourself, you're never going to do the things you want and know you should do. It's everything. Your identity is everything. I mean, that
Right.
opinion you have of yourself, you can't escape that. It's like you're wearing a pair of glasses and that filter is your opinion of your own self. So how you see yourself becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think you're stupid, like I always thought that I was stupid, then guess what? You show up in your life as a stupid person. You don't speak up for yourself. You don't attempt to do anything big in your life because I'm not smart enough. So
Mm.
it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. That becomes your identity. I identify as somebody of low intelligence. Therefore, I'm going to live my life as somebody of low intelligence. Your identity is
And
everything.
these are subtle stories that we tell ourselves, like that might be a big one, but there's subtler ones that we carry around with ourselves all the time that we're probably not even aware of that we tell ourselves.
So we have limiting beliefs that we're aware of. And then we have limiting beliefs that are in the unconscious mind that are below the surface of your awareness. That's what's driving your bus. So people have beliefs that they don't even know are there. So they
Mhm.
undermine you all the time. Like, I'm not worthy of money, therefore I'm not going to make anybody offers, right? Or, you know, so I help people uncover the stuff that is hidden too, because it's crazy how something intellectually you're like, well, that's nothing. The person didn't mean anything by that when they said that to you when you were 4, but yet your 4-year-old mind created this meaning that shaped your entire life. It's crazy. And now you've created this identity, this belief about yourself from that one little incident. It's crazy how. So, the thing about trauma is it's not the event or events that cause it, it's the meaning you create, the interpretation of it, but also how you, how, what you think it says about you.
Right.
So if my mom said this to me and she actually meant nothing of it, like she just said, I didn't hang up my coat. Big deal, right? But then as a 4-year-old, you're going, what does that mean about me? That mom said you didn't hang up your coat. Does that mean I'm a loser? Does that mean I'm bad? Does that mean whatever? So this becomes a part of our program. We build a whole identity around these things. I'm bad. I'm not worthy. I'm going to get kicked out of the tribe. Everything human beings do is out of survival. Everything.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. Now, how challenging is it to shift these beliefs? In the work that you do, some of these are obviously are deeper held beliefs that might take some time to uncover. Are there some simple things that we can do to shift that identity in the moment immediately? Without necessarily months and months of inner work?
Yeah. It happens. It can happen really, really fast.
Right.
I have a client who she has had such a horrible opinion of herself her entire life, and I shifted it in one session. So here's what you want to start doing for yourself is whenever something comes up and it stops you, you want to start having an internal dialogue with your own thoughts. Question what you thought, whatever's holding you back. The minute you think something, like for me, oh, that was stupid, you're so stupid. You want to start questioning your own thoughts, what you're saying to yourself. And then you want to go, wait,
Mhm.
is that true? Or is that just that story you've been telling yourself your entire life? Right. That's just my story coming up. It's not even true. We don't speak to ourselves that way. We don't even believe that anymore because we know it was just something that we created back when we were 4, and it's just not true
Mhm.
anymore. So you're self-correcting your own thoughts. And when you do that long enough, it's going to have a huge impact on you. You got to stay on top of it though. Don't just give in and go, oh, it's too much work. Do you want to be a completely different person? for the rest of your life and have better control over your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, then put in the work. Call yourself out on your own BS.
Yeah, because that's really what it is. It's really just
It's an
BS.
illusion.
I love that. It's such a powerful question. Is that really
Yeah.
true? Is that really true? Just question those thoughts that you have, those feelings that you have about yourself and about others as well. Is that really true? Because I see that as well with coaches and entrepreneurs online. Is something negative will happen in their business, right? Somebody doesn't respond to your emails. They don't show up for your webinar. They ask for a refund, right? And all of a sudden you start telling yourself all these
It's
stories. I see this happen
me.
all. Yeah, and it's like, you have no idea what just happened for
Yeah.
the person. Why are you even personalizing this? Do you see that a
Oh,
lot with people as well?
everybody does it.
Yeah.
Everybody does it. The human brain automatically, A, goes to the negative, but also
Yeah.
goes to the familiar. Your brain likes what is familiar. So it all if that's your pattern of thinking, oh, what did I do? What did I not do? Then your brain is naturally going to go back to that program until you self-correct it. So here's one thing I've been saying to people recently. I'm like, huh, so it's about you, right? And then I'm like, isn't that a little bit self-centered? You think it's all about you? And they're like, oh my God. But we naturally do it. What did I do? What did I not do? All that kind of stuff. When you have here's the thing, if you've got issues, everyone else has issues too.
Right.
So if they didn't show up on your coaching call or webinar or whatever, A, they have a life. You have no idea what's going on in their life. They could have a sick child, for heaven's sakes. Oh, it's all me. It's all me. No, they got a sick child, you know? So they've got a life, but they also have their own limiting beliefs going on.
Mm.
Oh, I don't want to get on the call because now she's going to think I'm stupid. That's projection, right? Obviously. That was my thing. I would avoid doing things because then people are going to know that I'm not so smart. Right? So everyone's got their own stuff going on. It's not always about you. So here's what I do when something happens and what used to like just shut me down for hours, days, weeks, months, thinking, oh, I did something wrong. I will look at the situation. So let's just use you and I as an example here. You and I have a disagreement about whatever, right?
Mhm.
So the old me would be going, "Oh, I was wrong. What did I say wrong? Norbert doesn't like me anymore, blah, 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 blah." Right now, what I do is I go, huh, why did Norbert and I co create that little interaction to happen? Why did we co create that? We're both supposed to learn something from here, from this. What can I learn from this interaction? Maybe I could have communicated what I was saying better. Okay, let's work on our communication skills. So I will
Mm.
also look for my part in it because sometimes we make mistakes and we can somewhat cause something. So A, I look for my responsibility in the situation. B, I look for what I can learn from it. But then I also realize that they're a human too, and they're creating meaning too. And they have their own issues and baggage and past trauma and limiting beliefs too.
Yep.
So understanding what's happening in your own fellow human beings is going to help you stop taking things so darn personally.
Yeah, fantastic. I love that. Aaron, this is a great conversation. I love just hearing your insights, obviously, from your experience. You've got years of experience working with hundreds of people all over the world from different backgrounds, in different capacities, in marketing and business, but now also in mindset and NLP and all this energy work that you do as well. So it's just fascinating to hear your insights on this. And I'm sure that people are getting a lot out of this. Why don't you share with people really quickly? I'm going to share your Facebook profile and your links to your website
Perfect.
so that people can connect with you as well. Definitely, if you're on social media and you want to see someone who does social media really wonderfully as a coach, go check her out on her Facebook. But is there anything that you want to share with people as far as what you're doing, what you're working on, or some way that they can connect with you?
Facebook is probably the easiest way to connect with me. I do have a website, but I don't spend a lot of time there. Like, I had an
Yeah.
assistant completely running my website, and we're no longer working together. I haven't even gone onto my website in a long time, only because I'm not interested in spending all my time on a website.
Right.
Obviously, I need to hire somebody else to do that because I'm busy in the field and I like to communicate with people. So I find Facebook is, it's way more fun for me, the connecting and the communicating with people. Like, you can have actual conversations, which is way harder through a website, right? So I spend
Mm.
way more time on Facebook than on a website, kind of thing.
Which is awesome because most coaches, they get their certification and then they're like, okay, now I need a website, blah blah blah, and it's like, I mean, I tell coaches, you don't even need a
No.
website to make money. Get on social media, just have conversations with human
Yep.
beings. My goodness, right? Yeah, because that's what it's really all about, is just showing up in the market, delivering value, sharing your message, and connecting with real humans.
I consider a website almost just kind of like a digital business card.
Pretty
Do
much.
you know how many sales I've made from my website that I know of? 0.
Yeah.
Do you know how much money I've made from making connections on Facebook? A lot more.
A lot more, a lot more. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Erin, this has been awesome. Thank you so much, guys. We're gonna put all of Erin's links in the description and the show notes there. So make sure you do reach out and connect with Erin. Follow her on social media, specifically on Facebook. You'll get some really great perspective on how to build your social media properly. So, Erin, I just want to thank you so much for being here, for sharing your experience, and I'm just really excited to see what you build and what you create in the next months and years to come.
Thank you, Norb. I really appreciate it.
All right, awesome. And if you're a coach, consultant, trainer, or expert, and you're looking for clarity in your marketing, just want to invite you again to that Digital Mentors Compass workshop. It's a free interactive workshop where we help coaches get crystal clear on your messaging so you can show up authentically online, on social media, and understand the basics of marketing to get clients without all the guesswork. And you can register for that at compassworkshop.com. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your network, with your audiences. We're a growing podcast, so we need your help. Please, if you enjoyed this, share this out. Be sure to subscribe, leave us a review so you don't miss our episodes. This has been a conversation between two coaches.